Are you there, Laura, hun? I assume you are because you've hopped on. You might be someplace else you're listening in. Okay, so let's talk about that recruiting script. Hopefully you still worked on your goal setting and you worked on your list of videos and you worked on your dream list. And then we talked about that first question on a scale of 1 to 5, what's your interest level in getting information? Tell me why you say 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We talked about that one question. Or did we not? No? Okay. Let me start there. For some reason, I thought we had talked.
No, we didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about that. Okay. I think I was debating in my head if I wanted to give you that part, because then it would be like, well, then what do I say after that? Okay. And you do have access to the whole recruiting script if you haven't printed it off. It is in your experience file. When you click the magic link, you should be able to find it there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's cover some basics. I'm going to give you the shortened version and then we'll do like the whole thing. Why we ask what we ask next week. Okay. So anyone that you get kind of an idea, they're your best customers. They've been a hostess. They may have asked a question. They've answered one of your goal setting questions. If you guys haven't yet, do the, what would you do, with an extra $500 a month? It's really interesting to see what people say on that. Okay. Okay, Laura, I totally understand. So we ask the question, we say, if you're going to reach out to someone you've been thinking about that's on your dream list, okay, you want to reach out to them and you want to ask them on a scale. First of all, we do an initial touch. We say, hey, Susie, I saw you guys went to Disneyland. Tell me what the kids' favorite thing was, okay? We always start with an initial touch before we send anything about business, okay? Really, 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 really important to remember that. Cannot emphasize that enough, okay? Super, super, super important. So when you do that, okay, you have an appropriate conversation for as long as it makes sense. There's a quick conversation about Disneyland. It shouldn't take a real long time. If you find out there's something tragic going on in their life, it might take a little bit longer because we need to be sensitive and caring, okay? So people always ask, well, how many times do I go back and forth? As many times as it seems like a normal person would that cares. There's, it depends on what the topic is, all right? So after you ask that and it still seems appropriate and you haven't found out, a lot of people are in kind of crisis mode, right? Like from finances to health to all sorts of things. So we need to first find out it's appropriate. From there, we want to then ask, tell them, hey, I really appreciate being a customer. What's been your favorite product? Or, what pieces have you worn lately? Just get a conversation going about products, okay? If you're more like a party plan and they've bought like a product recently in the last 6 months, how are you liking this blank product that you purchased? Okay. So you just want to get a conversation going, like make sure they're having a good experience with it. Because if you find out something broke, they don't like it, they're not wearing it, they're, it's important just to make sure that everything's going well with regards to the products. Okay. So we're going to ask that, we're going to be awesome. And that's where we're going to say, because you're such an amazing customer, because you've been such an amazing host, because you seem to really love the products, I have a quick question for you. On a scale of 1 to 5, what would your interest level be in getting information about how you can make some extra money with blank, your company name? Okay. The important thing is on a scale of 1 to 5, what's your interest level, not signing up. People, so you want to sign up? Okay. What's your interest level in getting information about how you can make some extra money with my company? Okay. Fill in the name of your company. And the reason why it's so important to ask that is because information doesn't make them feel committed. It opens up a conversation. Scale of 1 to 5 gives them a range of maybe. When you ask somebody, so you want to sign up with my company? And they think the only options are yes, no. Can you feel how that kind of might shut them down? Because, you know, they don't want, well, yeah. And it's like, well, I need more information. You need to give them an option for, I need more information, which is that scale of 1 to 5. Okay. So no matter what they say, we're going to say, okay, awesome. Tell me more about why you say 2, 3, 5, 1. Don't take a 1 as a no. Don't take a 5 as a yes. Super important you don't do that. I cannot tell you how often people don't say what they think. I don't know why. So no matter what the scale of 1 to 5 is, tell me more about why you say that number. Okay. Let them say whatever they have to say. As long as it looks like there's some interest, you want to say, well, tell you what, I've got a couple questions for you to get to know you a little bit better. Would you have a quick minute? I could ask you a few questions. Our goal here is to start a conversation and start this interview. Okay. Not to try to convince them to sign up. The goal is to see what do they need in their life. I found when I could reveal they needed something financially, emotionally, or relationship-wise, and then I could tell them about why my company fit that, I could often get them to sign up and give it a try. Okay. So does that make sense? We're looking for that door to open. Okay. So that's where we come into those motivational styles, and you have some videos to watch and the whole interview print that you can print out. Okay. So make sure you go through that thoroughly. So, but let me give you an overview. So these are my favorite questions. Okay. What's been your favorite job and why? Because when she tells you, I loved helping people, or I loved the bonuses or travel I got, it really helps you know, are they money and titles, or they change the world? Okay. You don't talk about being on stage and getting crowns and when they're change the world and they love to help people. When they talk about the bonuses and they love how much money you made, you don't sit and talk about how lives have changed. You talk about what the, financial bonuses are and how they put your name in lights. When you talk about the opposite and they talk to, then what their motivational style is, that's where you lose them. Okay. So it's super, super important to understand that. You've got to talk about what makes them tick and not talk about what makes you tick. You can, if you find out you have the same motivational style, but if you don't, you talk about somebody else in the company that has something similar. Okay. So super important to understand. So then my next question is, if no matter if they have a paid job or their mom, or, they have an unpaid job, they're a care provider for their parent, or their parent to children, sometimes our jobs aren't paid, right? We're taking care of people. Other time, but sometimes they still like it. There's still a piece though that's sometimes missing. Sometimes the job they have, they really like, but there's a piece missing. So you're going to say, tell me what you most like about your current job. Okay. You always want to find out what they like, so you can say, oh, ours also gives you that. Okay. Got to find out what they like about their job. And then you want to ask if you could do if there's one thing that would improve your job, what would that be? If there's one thing that would improve your job, what would that be? Okay. And so we don't want to say, what's one thing you hate about your job? We want to say positive. Okay. What's that one thing that would improve your job? Okay. This is all revealing that money and titles versus change the world. What are they craving? Okay. What are they not getting? Can you feel that? Does that make sense? Okay. Give me one hot second. Okay. Okay. So now the next thing is, are they variety or consistency? Do they like to do something different every day? Or do they like to have a schedule and a routine? Okay. And when you are focused on that and better understand what makes them tick, like, I like to do something different every day. I hate to do the same thing over and over again. I love to sit down for several hours and do the same thing and then not do it again for a couple days.